Good morning, my dear students of final year polymer chemistry. My dear students, I welcome you to our college again. But unfortunately, we are not inside the classroom, but online classes are ready for us. And this is the first time officially I am taking class for you. Unfortunately, I couldn't meet you inside the classroom, but I hope I will meet you inside the classroom during this semester itself. Anyway, I welcome you to my online class. In this semester, that is semester 5, you have to discuss organic chemistry module, that is the carbohydrates. And I hope you will be able to identify and understand the topics in this particular module. What are carbohydrates? Earlier, carbohydrates were defined as hydrates of carbon. That means the general formula was CnH2O n times. So they considered carbohydrate as hydrates of carbon. But later, the concept has changed. And now we define carbohydrates are a class of organic compounds that are polyhydroxyaldehydes or polyhydroxyketones. That means this particular type of compounds should have more than one hydroxy group, and they should have either an aldehyde or a ketonic group. So any compound, if it contains a ketonic or aldehyde group, and if it contains more than one hydroxy group, they are generally called carbohydrates. Or we can say some molecules change to such a substance on simple chemical transformations as hydrolysis, oxidation, or reduction. That means for certain carbohydrate molecules, there may not be free ketonic or aldehyde group. But when such compounds are subjected to hydrolysis or oxidation or reduction, they gives molecules which are polyhydroxyaldehydes or polyhydroxyketones. Such type of compounds are called carbohydrates. Carbohydrates or saccharides are molecules of 3 carbons or more which contain at least one carbonyl group and one alcohol group. The very simplest carbohydrate is glyceraldehyde. See, this is an example for a carbohydrate. It contains 1, 2, 3 and 4 OH group and one C double bond O group, and here we have another OH group. That means this compound is having more than one OH group and it is having a carbonyl group, that is a ketonic group. So this is an example for a carbohydrate. Here also see we have a CHO group, aldehyde group, and we have more than one OH group. Hence, these two are examples of carbohydrates. Now we move to the classification of carbohydrates. There are different methods for the classification of carbohydrates. The first classification is based on the functional group present in the carbohydrate. Based on the functional group present in the carbohydrate, carbohydrates are classified into two. They are aldoses and ketoses. Aldoses are carbohydrates which contains an aldehyde group CHO group as the functional group, and ketoses are carbohydrates which contain ketonic group or C double bond O group as the functional group. This is an example for an aldose. This is the simplest aldose, that is glyceraldehyde. 3 carbon atoms are there and the functional group is CHO. Hence it is an aldose. This is dihydroxyacetone, another carbohydrate molecule which contains a ketonic group as the functional group. Hence it is a ketose. Now moving to the second types of classification. Depending upon the hydrolysis products obtained, carbohydrates are classified into monosaccharides, disaccharides, oligosaccharides and polysaccharides. So, when we take a bigger carbohydrate molecule and subject it to hydrolysis, it may undergo hydrolysis to form saccharides or simplest units. So, monosaccharides does not undergo any hydrolysis. That means for monosaccharide molecules, it is the simplest carbohydrate unit. It does not undergo any hydrolysis. Example, glucose, fructose. These are simple monosaccharides. That means the carbohydrate molecule, the simplest carbohydrate molecule which does not undergo any hydrolysis. Disaccharides, they are carbohydrate molecules which on hydrolysis gives 2 sugar units. If it gives 2 sugar units or 2 monosaccharides, then we can say it is a disaccharide. Example, sucrose. Sucrose on hydrolysis will give you 1 molecule of glucose and 1 molecule of fructose. So it is an example for a disaccharide. Another is maltose. If the carbohydrate undergo hydrolysis to form 3 to 10 monosaccharides, such type of carbohydrates are called oligosaccharides. Example, raffinose. Raffinose on hydrolysis will give you 3 monosaccharides. That means it is an example for a trisaccharide. And stachyose is a carbohydrate molecule which on hydrolysis will give you 4 monosaccharide units. Hence it is an example for a tetrasaccharide. Polysaccharides are carbohydrate molecules which on hydrolysis gives more than 10 sugar units. Or we can say polysaccharides are biggest molecule or bigger molecules of simple monosaccharides. That means if I take starch, a large number of glucose molecules combine to form starch. Or we can say when starch is subjected to hydrolysis, it gives 10,000 molecules of monosaccharide glucose. Hence, starch is an example for a polysaccharides. So we can say, depending upon the number of sugar units or monosaccharides obtained by hydrolysis, carbohydrates are classified into 4 monosaccharides, which give only 1 sugar unit, disaccharides, which on hydrolysis gives you 2 sugar unit or 2 monosaccharides, oligosaccharides 3 to 10 sugar units or monosaccharides, and polysaccharides large number of monosaccharides. Now we move to the configuration of carbohydrates. What is configuration? And in organic chemistry context, we know configuration is the arrangement of atoms or group of atoms around a particular atom. And we know the valency of carbon is 4. Hence, for a carbon atom, there should be 4 groups attached to them. Hence, when we consider the configuration of organic molecule, we have to consider the arrangement of atoms or group of atoms around the carbon atom. In case of carbohydrates, we know carbohydrates are polyhydroxy compounds. That means in carbohydrate there will be a large number of carbon atoms having a good number of OH groups. Hence, we have to consider the configuration of glucose or carbohydrate or fructose or any other carbohydrate based on the corresponding arrangement of atoms around the carbon atom. Now see here, I am taking this molecule. This molecule contains a carbon atom here, and this carbon atom is asymmetric carbon atom. That means this carbon atom is having 4 different groups, one H group, one OH, one CH2OH, and a different group there. In this particular carbon atom, the OH group is on the right hand side. Hence we say it is deconfiguration. Capital D configuration. See this case, same molecule, but the only difference is that in this particular molecule, this carbon atom which is asymmetric have OH group on the left hand side. So we say the OH group is on the left hand side, hence it is a L configuration. So molecules of carbohydrates could be designated as D configuration or L configuration based on the presence of OH group in the asymmetric carbon atom. See the configurations of carbohydrates. I am taking the simple molecule glyceraldehyde which contains 3 carbon atoms. In this particular molecule, this carbon atom, the central carbon atom is asymmetric and the OH group is on the right hand side. Hence it is D-glyceraldehyde. From D-glyceraldehyde, we are moving to erythrose and triose. In case of erythrose and triose, we have 4 carbon atoms. 1, 2, 3, 4. Here also we have 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 carbon atoms. And among these 4 carbon atoms, 2 are asymmetric. This carbon atom is an asymmetric carbon atom and this carbon atom is an asymmetric carbon atom. So 2 asymmetric carbon atoms are here. Similarly, here also we have 2 asymmetric carbon atoms. This carbon atom with red color and this carbon atom with red color. But see the configuration. In this erythrose, the OH groups are on the right hand side. While here, one OH group is on the right hand side, while another OH group is on the left hand side. See, from erythrose we have ribose and arabinose. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 membered compounds. 5 carbon atom compound. And from triose we have again 5 carbon atoms. They are xylose and lysose. Similarity is going. From ribose we have allose, altrose, and from arabinose we have glucose and mannose. See, when we are taking glucose and mannose, see these two OH groups That is the OH groups on the bottom portion are on the same side. But moving to the first carbon atom, see here OH group is on the left hand side, while here OH group is on the right hand side. So why this is D-glucose? Because this has derived from the molecule D-glyceraldehyde. Hence it is D-glucose. And this is mannose. Why it is D-mannose? Because it has derived from the triose D-glyceraldehyde. Hence it is D-mannose. So all these compounds are basically derived from D-glyceraldehyde. Hence they are D-configuration carbohydrates. Take some of the compounds and write as example. So we have seen carbohydrates. What are carbohydrates? Different classification of carbohydrates, and we have seen the configuration of different carbohydrates. Now we move to the simplest monosaccharide, that is glucose molecule. Glucose molecule is a monosaccharide and a simple aldose. Why it is an aldose? Because the functional group present in glucose is CHO group. And the molecular formula of glucose is found to be C6H12O6. So it is a simple monosaccharide. So we have to see how glucose molecule is prepared. Glucose molecule is prepared by using sucrose or cane sugar. Sucrose or cane sugar on hydrolysis using dilute hydrochloric acid or sulfuric acid undergoes hydrolysis to form glucose and fructose. The molecular formula of glucose and fructose are same, C6H12O6. But glucose is an aldose while fructose is a ketose. To separate glucose from fructose, alcohol is added during cooling. So when alcohol is added, glucose is almost insoluble in alcohol. Hence it is separated out. So this is sucrose molecule C12H22O11, which on hydrolysis in presence of a mineral acid H+, I will get equal amount of glucose and fructose. This fructose is soluble in alcohol while glucose is insoluble in alcohol. While cooling, it separated out. Now another method for the preparation of glucose is I am taking starch molecule. Starch is C6H12O5 N times. That means starch is a polysaccharide. It on hydrolysis will give you a large number of glucose molecule, N number of glucose molecule. The advantage of this method is that when I hydrolysis starch in presence of an acid, I will get only glucose molecule. There is no any other mixture. I will get pure glucose molecule. So starch on hydrolysis in presence of a mineral acid, I will get glucose, which is neutralized by sodium carbonate and crystallized under reduced pressure to obtain glucose molecule. These two methods are very important. Please note it. Now, moving to the reactions of glucose. The first reaction we have to consider is oxidation of glucose. We know glucose is an aldose. That means Glucose contains an aldehyde group, CHO group. So the molecular formula of glucose is CHO, CHOH 4 times CH2OH. That means when I oxidize glucose, the CHO group will undergo oxidation. And we know any CHO molecule on oxidation will give you acid. That is the COOH group. But in case of glucose, depending upon the oxidizing agent we are using, we get different products. See here, I am using the first oxidizing agent, that is bromine water. Bromine water is a mild oxidizing agent. Hence, the bromine water will oxidize the CHO group of glucose, only the terminal CHO group of glucose, to form COOH. That means remaining 5 carbon atoms does not affected by bromine water. So I can say glucose on oxidation with bromine water, that is a mild oxidizing agent, we get gluconic acid. Gluconic acid. If I am using concentrated nitric acid as the oxidizing agent, concentrated nitric acid is a strong oxidizing agent. It oxidizes the CHO group as well as the CH2OH group. Since it is a strong oxidizing agent, CHO group is converted to COH group and CH2OH group is also converted to COOH group. That means when I use concentrated nitric acid for the oxidation of glucose, I will get saccharic acid. Saccharic acid is a dicarboxylic acid because it is having COH, COH, 2 COH group. But gluconic acid is a monocarboxylic acid. It contains only one COH group. Very important examination point of view. Please note. Now we move to the reduction reaction of glucose. I told you glucose is an aldose. Hence it contains a CHO group. And we know any CHO group on reduction will give you alcohol. Any aldehyde on reduction will give you alcohol. Hence, glucose is an aldose. It contains an aldehyde group. So, reduction of glucose will give rise to alcohol. See, if I use different reagents, the product will be different. See here, if I use sodium amalgam as the reducing agent, sodium amalgam as the reducing agent, NaNH, sodium and mercury. Here I have the CHO group. Glucose is having the CHO group. It is converted to CH2OH group. That is the alcoholic group. That means sodium amalgam is a mild reducing agent or a weak reducing agent. Hence, it converts CHO group to CH2OH. So, this product is called sorbitol. Sorbitol, CH2OH, CHOH 4 times CH2OH. See here, if I use hydrogen iodide in presence of phosphorus, Hi/P, that is a strong reducing agent. And we know alcohols on reduction will give you alkane, saturated hydrocarbons. Here CHO group, CHOH group, CH2OH group, all these groups are reduced to hydrocarbon. CH3, CH2 4 times CH3. This is normal hexane. Why it is normal hexane? because glucose contains 6 carbon atom. So the product contains 6 alkane, that is normal hexane. Note it out. Now we discuss what are epimers. I told you carbohydrates are polyhydroxy compounds. That means they contain more than one OH group. In many carbohydrates, there are many OH groups. That means they have different asymmetric carbon atom. Now see here, in this case, this is not an asymmetric carbon atom. This is not an asymmetric carbon atom. What is an asymmetric carbon atom? Asymmetric carbon atom is a carbon atom which have different atoms or group of atoms attached to it. See here, this carbon is an asymmetric carbon atom because this is H group, this is OH group, this is CH2OH group, and this group is entirely different. Hence, this is a asymmetric carbon atom. Similarly, this is also an asymmetric carbon atom. This is also an asymmetric carbon atom, and this is also an asymmetric carbon atom. Hence, in this molecule, we have 4 asymmetric carbon atoms. If some molecules are having different asymmetric carbon atoms, then their configuration will be different. So, epimers are such a type of compounds. They have different asymmetric carbon atoms, but there will be change in configuration between two isomers. Such type of isomers are called epimers. See, epimers are a type of stereoisomers that are different from each other only at one chiral carbon atom or asymmetric carbon atom, even though there are more than one chiral carbon atom. See the example. I am taking this example. In this example, I have glucose and mannose. This is CHO, not asymmetric. This is also CHO, not asymmetric. Here we have CH2OH. Here also we have CH2OH. This is also not asymmetric. But moving to first carbon atom, second carbon atom, third carbon atom, and fourth carbon atom, these 4 carbon atoms are asymmetric. That means this is the second carbon atom, this is the third carbon atom, this is the fourth, this is the fifth, this is the sixth. So among 1 to 6, second, third, fourth, and fifth are asymmetric carbon atom. Now we observe the configuration of asymmetric carbon atom. I am taking the fifth carbon atom, OH on the right hand side. Here also OH on the right hand side. Here OH on the right hand side. Here also OH on the right hand side. Moving to the third carbon atom, H on the right hand side. Here also H on the right hand side. But when we move to second carbon atom, for glucose, OH is on the right hand side, while for mannose, H is on the right hand side. So they have different asymmetric carbon atom, but the configuration is only different in this second carbon atom. Hence they are epimers. So we define epimers are a type of stereoisomers that are different from each other only at one chiral carbon atom, only at this carbon atom, even though there are more than one chiral carbon atoms. See here, more than one chiral carbon atom. See other example. Now I am taking glucose and galactose. Glucose and galactose. See here CHO, here also CHO. For glucose and galactose, we have CH2OH. So first and sixth carbon atoms are not asymmetric. But second, third, fourth, and fifth carbon atoms are asymmetric. Observing the configuration, Fifth carbon atom for glucose and galactose, same configuration. For third carbon atom, glucose and galactose, same configuration. For second carbon atom, glucose and galactose have same configuration. But moving to the fourth carbon atom, galactose having H on the right hand side, OH on the left hand side. But for glucose, OH on the right hand side and H on the left hand side. That means these two are epimers. So we again define epimers are type of stereoisomers that are different from each other only at one asymmetric carbon atom or one chiral carbon atom, even though there are more than one chiral carbon atoms. Take down, very important. So we summarize today's discussion. We discussed what are carbohydrates. We discussed the classifications of carbohydrates. We discussed the configuration of carbohydrates. We discussed the preparation of glucose and the oxidation and reduction of glucose. Finally, we discussed what are epimers. And I hope you could follow the topic and you will have the notes. Now it is the assignment time. I will give you the assignment questions now. Take down the questions carefully and write the assignment. Keep it in your notebook. Next class, I will call some of you using your ID number. That means roll number. So that roll number students, they have name, they should present it in the Google Meet. That means you have to prepare the assignment, keep it in your notebook. Next class, you open the notebook, read it and explain. Are you ready? And I am very sure you are happy with it. Okay, we will proceed. First one, distinguish between reducing sugars and non-reducing sugars with examples. Second one, identify the products obtained when glucose is treated with hydrogen cyanide. And the third question is, what is the name of the epimer of ribose? So I have given you 3 questions. So please write down the answers and show me in your next class. See here, these topics I didn't teach you, but it is very simple. Refer textbook or refer net. Brief answer is expected. You prepare it, keep it in your notebook. Next class, you have to present. And I do not know the lottery will comes to whom. Okay? So, thank you being with me for this online class. I hope you are happy. Anyway, thank you and see you next time. Be safe and stay safe. See you. Bye.